So how do you shuck an oyster? First, let's talk about the oyster. We're going to shuck an oyster through what we call the elbow. So it's this narrow part right here. And so you can shuck the oyster from these other edges, but truly the best way to shuck an oyster, the eastern oyster, is from right here on the elbow. And so all you're trying to do is separate the bottom shell from the top shell. And you can do it, you can see right here on the elbow where the two shells come together, right? So I'll take these two that I've already taken up, this oyster I've already shucked. So you can see, all you're trying to do is separate these two shells. So what keeps the oyster together? There's an adductor muscle that connects the bottom shell and the top shell. And so you can see this purple dot right here, that's where the adductor muscle connects to the bottom shell. And similarly too, this is on the top shell. So whenever you're shucking, think about what you're trying to do. You're trying to cut that adductor muscle and release it from the top shell, okay? So the first step is to get into the elbow. So you're gonna take your knife and just wiggle it side to side. And I like to think of using a screwdriver, right? A screwdriver, whenever you're screwing something, you're not pushing forward. You're really just working to the side. Same thing with shucking an oyster. Get into the side. It's not so much about jabbing it down. It's more about just finessing into that gap between the top and the bottom oyster. And then it's just prying side to side. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to try to get what we call the lollipop, right? So you're going to try and open it up just enough so that you can go like this. So there's your lollipop. And you can see the liqueur dripping down. So you know that you've already started to open it. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and scrape across that top shell to get to this connection point. So I'm going to take the oyster flat on my hand and angle the knife up and sort of just scrape across that top shell until I get over to where the adductor connects to the top shell. And there it is. So that's the top shell. Now we're really just going to do the same thing for the bottom shell. And take the knife, and again, just looking for that connection point on the bottom shell. And you can see it, the adductor muscle's right here. So I'm just going to go right underneath and just release that from the bottom shell. And that's it. The oyster's released and ready to eat.